Good morning and good evening and good afternoon to wherever it is that you are in the world. Welcome to this week's Fiberific Live Craft and Chat, where we craft and chat live. I've noticed lots of people in the live chat already and are having some great conversations, which I love. This week has been ordinary, but not ordinary. Like, I was just sort of sitting here thinking, every week I'm like, oh, this has been a crazy week. No, this week hasn't been crazy. I mean, it's got a lot going on, which, moving out of the shack has presented its own issues. But just trying to, keep plodding along and keep motivated and keep things happening. One thing that happened, oh, hello, Lou, just have a big old, what was that? I don't even know what that was. One thing that's happened, though, this weekend I decided, you know what, no work this weekend. I gave myself the whole weekend off except for, responding to a couple of messages. But I did no work. So I did no sorting out of all the stuff that's covering the dining table in the living room. It was very hard to not try and fix it. But what I did do was do some more work on my queen. I actually sat in here. I got all comfy. I was swiveled this way looking at my big screen. I actually pushed all the chairs back and everything, had my feet up. It was very comfortable. Threw on, what did I even watch? Mixtures of Supernatural reruns and CSI reruns. That's what I did. And just crocheted. And I found a couple of mistakes that I'd done over the last few weeks right towards the end of the repeat. So I was able to just pull back a whole pile of rows and fix those. And I, just got in and I've actually started the next color, which, like, those of you that have made the queens, right? Did you struggle with that middle section, feeling like you were just working with the same sort of two colors forever? I mean, that's definitely how it felt to me. For me, it was the canary and the caution. And, like, it really wasn't that long a piece in the scheme of things. It just felt like it went on forever. But I'm now back to orange. And then after the orange, I'm back to this one, which is a sort of a rusty color, then the red, then the burgundy. It feels like I'm now on, like, a more, a faster run down to the bottom. The other thing that I did was I bit the bullet. I'm working in my second last ball of the purple that I've been using for all the, mosaic-y bits. And I was like, oh man, like, I've got to order more yarn. I don't want to lose momentum, because I was like, you know what? If I run out of yarn, I'll just pop it away. And then the second my brain went, you'll just pop it away for 2 years. And you'll never touch it again. So I was like, I don't want to lose the momentum of what I've started here. So what I did was I jumped over onto the Knit Picks website, and I was going to be ordering, sort of like 10 more balls of the eggplant. And I was looking at it. I'm like, okay, they're like this is in Australian dollars. It only shows me Australian dollars. It was like $5.20 or something per ball. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to spend like, like $50, $60, $70 once I add postage. But I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna order it. And then I was like, what else can I add? Like, I was thinking, maybe I could at least get it to the free postage and get some stuff for the next project. And in my brain, I'm like, this is so stupid. Why are you even doing this? You only need this yarn. You don't need anything else. You really don't need anything else. And that's when I came across the Brava worsted 500s. And they are 500 gram balls of the Brava worsted. And for 500 grams, it was $22. And so it worked out a bit cheaper than buying 5 individual balls. So, because I think 5 individual balls came out to be about 26 or 27. So it was like sort of like saving-ish the cost on a ball. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this. So I ordered 2 of those. I did not order the other 10 as well. I've just ordered those 2. I paid for the postage because, like, the reality is, right, but international postage is really cheap, right? I think I had to pay, off the top of my head, it was like $7 or $8 postage. So I was like, I'm going to spend an extra $50 just so I can save $7. No, that didn't work for me. So I just ordered what I needed to order. Hopefully 10 balls will be enough. And if it's not enough, not 10 balls, but, you know, a kilo more of the purple, I'd still have enough to probably get through another couple of repeats of color. And so I'm going to be, I'll make the decision later in the blanket, but I'm going to be using up some of the leftover colors in the, I'm like showing you here, leftover colors like what we have that we've used through the blanket, like what Kathy did in hers. So so that I don't have to just use all purple in my border. So I really would, I think I would have preferred to do all purple in the border. There's so much color in this that it doesn't really need the additional color in the border. But rather than have to go back and order more again, but I will judge it based on what happens. And I'm kind of already regretting not getting a third one of the 500 gram balls. I'm already regretting it. Because I'm like, oh, well, 13 balls got me to just over halfway. I think by the time I get through the 13th ball, I think the purple I've got right now will get me through the rest of this orange. And then the next ball will get me to sort of 2, maybe 3 of the following repeats. But yeah, I'm just like, oh, bad choice. I should have, you know, ordered more. Have you guys ever had to order extra yarn for your blanket only to realize you needed to order extra yarn for your blanket? Please tell me I am not alone in this. I did pop in the community tab. I think it was yesterday. Here on YouTube. I popped it in the community tab that this my packing slip of like that it shipped yesterday. So fingers are crossed. So Kelly Pole says that she still struggles with yarnage. Yeah. I look, some things I'm like 100% okay with, because, you know, I'm using the yarn that the designer suggested for the pattern. I'm making the pattern the exact same way. I'm getting gauge, and I'm a lot better at working that out. But what I've done with this blanket is just the exact opposite of what you should do, right? So what I've done with my blanket is the pattern calls for DK. I'm using worsted, right? I double checked the meterage and sort of was like, oh yeah, you know, I probably need a bit more meterage per ball, blah, 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 blah. But I did work out using the math redos that I should have enough ball that each color repeat used 1 ball or thereabouts. And that's been true. So, oh my God, you are so not alone. Thank you, Sandy G. Kathy Breyer says, I have several times I've ordered extra of one color and forgot I needed more of another. Oh gosh, I'm so glad you got, I mean, I'm not glad that we've all had this like horrible thing, like, but I'm glad that I'm not the only one doing it. It's like, hi, come and follow me on my YouTube channel and learn how to do these things I don't know how to do. But yeah, so it's definitely like, so I've made sure I had enough of the individual colors and I worked out all the math on those, but then I just went and ordered the recommended number of balls for the purple. I didn't do the math, and I don't know why. I just didn't. And now I'm suffering the consequences of that by ordering maybe half as much yarn, half as much of the purple as I needed. And I'm really kicking myself like hugely, because when I ordered all this yarn, I got these balls for around $2.90 a ball, and now they're $5 something a ball. And I'm just like, oh man, I should have just ordered more. I would have saved so much money. But yeah, so this is what I've been doing. So I think I don't know exactly. I feel like I did like 4 or 5 rows of the green. Green. There is no green in it. There's 0 green in this blanket. I did 4 or 5 rows of the yellow, and then have not quite finished. I've got this far, like this match to do left on the second orange row, and that's what I got done over the weekend. Now, but what I also did over the weekend was, and you're going to laugh at this. So I found a mistake, 1, 2, 3, in this 4th repeat here. So I pulled all of these rows back down to this first row of the what is this one? Is this caution or canary? I think this one's canary. I mean, I don't even know. The lighter yellow. So I had to pull like all these rows back to about here. So 4.5 repeats back. Then I redid all of those, caught back up again, only to realize that when I redid this, I screwed this bit up over here by not watching and counting. I'd put too many stitches in one of the rows. So then I had to pull all of this bit back down to here and fix that up. Anyway, it's fixed now. I think it's fixed. I think it looks good. I can't, there's no glaring mistakes, so please don't point out any. At this stage, I'm okay. So there's no glaring mistakes. And yeah, so, but I mean, obviously, you know, there's some wastage of like, way long bits of purple that I probably needed for rows in the future. And that's what I really hate, is when I realize I've screwed it up and then you end up with like these really long wasty bits and you're just like, oh, that's so annoying. So I'll probably trim those down at some stage so that I don't keep staring at them and getting annoyed at how much yarn I wasted. I'm just having a look here in the chat. Leanne says that she too has had to order several times for one project. Leanne says the community tab is something I have to remind myself about looking at. I forget it's another way to see what our favorite YouTubers are sharing with us. That's right. If you're on mobile or desktop, it does sometimes come up in your home feed as well. Not always, but sometimes. Kathy says, I'm working on a kit and I always wonder if I'll have enough. I do the swatch, it's good, but then I need more when I get close to the end. Yeah, I always struggle with kits. Honestly, look, I know that I crochet looser. Now, if there's gauge swatch and I get gauge, I'm normally okay. But I don't always get gauge. And sometimes, especially with blankets, sometimes I'm like, yeah, who needs a gauge swatch for a blanket? And then you forget you're going to run out of yarn because the designer has worked out on their specific stitch count exactly how they crochet. And so, yeah, it will definitely be, it's always a little bit tricky with kits. You hope that they've made allowances. And some do and some don't. It depends on who's making the kits. Knitspin Girl says, the very first garment I made, I ran out of yarn, so now I overcompensate. How much yarn will I need to hit a hat? 100, 150? Better buy a kilo. Let's buy 10 times the amount of yarn that we need, so we definitely don't run out. You could probably just about make yourself a sweater to match your hat. I'm using my Fiberific mug today. If you would like to get your own Hedge of Ninja Fiberific mug, you can do so over on the Fiberific Redbubble account. I probably got a banner for that somewhere that I would have made at one stage. Let me have a look here. Oh, look at that. Bam! Hello, Fiberific Redbubble. It's been a long time since I've used the banners. I'm just having a look. So that's the Rolly Scrolly. If that's annoying, let me know, because I think I've made a, I think I've got just a, yeah, I got that one. Let's get rid of the Rolly Scrolly. No, I like the Rolly Scrolly. Hello, this is my brain today. Sorry about that. Like, there's not a lot I can do. This is just how my brain is. Yesterday, I went and had my chiropractic visit. I have my chiropractic visits very often. Thank you for making it so I can stand and walk. But my chiropractor is gone and I had to get a new chiropractor. And I now have a male chiropractor. I've pretty well, have I always had a female chiropractor? I think I've had male chiropractors before, but I have not had a male chiropractor in a very long time. Anyway, he's very nice. He's very lovely, a little bit woo, which I'm okay with. Seriously overqualified. Like, seriously overqualified. Oh, Jackie Champion, thank you for popping the link in. That is clickable. So rather than just having to type it in for yourselves. He's like a qualified physiotherapist, sports physiologist, like the degrees he has across his wall. And he just said, because he used to be a sports player himself, and just realized, like, because he had some injuries, and just realized how many amazing medical people he relied on just for his sports career. And so he's gone through, I'd have to check, but there's 4 different degrees that he's done. Not degrees, 4 different trainings. One of them was sports massage. So I don't know if that's a degree qualified thing. Anyway, and then he's gone and realized he loves chiropractic. So he's in there. Anyway, he's fantastic. And it was probably the most gentle, amazing chiropractic appointment I've had in a long time. Not that my other chiropractor was rough or anything like that, but this was just unbelievably, surprisingly gentle. And I felt amazing after it. Well, I felt good after it. I've been very sore. Moving furniture, not a good thing to do. And anyway, then because it was my first appointment with him, he didn't charge. And because I'm at a clinic that has a lot, and I've been at that clinic for years. And I was just like, no, you can't do that. That's not right. Anyway, so one of the girls was just like, so you've been meaning to get a massage, right? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, Laura's not here, but I can't remember his name. And I'll remember it because he was lovely. Dude is here. Let's just call him Dude. And he's here right now if you want to, go and get a massage, and you can use the money that you saved from your chiropractic towards that. And I was like, do you know what? That sounds like a great idea. Let's do that. So I'm like sitting in the waiting room just because he was just setting up the room. And I'm like, hey, Tim, getting a massage. Laura's not here. I'm going to get it with such and such. And Tim's like, a male massage person. And I'm like, yep. I'm like, I'm sure he's a professional. Anyway, it was at that particular moment that I realized in all my life, in all the massages I've had, which is a lot, I've never had a male massage therapist. And so I'm like, I've started getting nervous then. I was just like, oh, I wonder if it's different. Is it different? It's probably not different. They do all the same training, right? And my brain's just like flip, flop, flip, flop, flip, flop. Anyway, he comes out, talks to me, and like we go into the room. And I just like, dude, I've never had a male massage therapist. So I'm a little nervous, uncomfortable, not even uncomfortable, but, nervous is probably the best word. And he's like, well, this is the deal. If you become super uncomfortable, let me know and I will leave the room and we can be done. And I was just like, okay. And so I was just like, right. So we had to talk about what work I needed done and blah, 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 blah. He goes out, I get organized and on the table, and then he comes back in and he was just like, okay. And it was a fantastic massage. It was just like, at no stage during the massage did I feel weird. And I was so shocked that, like, after, because Tim was just like, how was it? And I was like, well, is it got a very different style? Because I normally go to Laura, a very different style to Laura. And he does, he works at the muscles differently. And I said, but still a fantastic massage. And Tim was just like, okay, should I go and see him? I'm like, I don't know. Like, if you want to change up from Laura, then it's definitely worth it. I had a chat with like before I went in, I was like, Laura's not going to be upset, is she? And she was like, no, quite a lot of people are actually alternating between the two because their styles are so different that they actually feel better going to both because it's like they get a more whole approach. And I was like, okay, all right. I don't feel bad now. I'm just having a look in the chat. We're getting some chiro and some massage stories in here. It's this is about the chiropractor. It's good that he has a range of skills and qualifications and he can apply the most appropriate treatment from the range. Exactly. And I think that's what he was doing. It was very good. Maybe males have stronger hands. Oh, look, I don't know. This guy was very gentle with me yesterday. He was just like, guys, your body's telling me it's been through a lot in the last month or so, and I'm just going to see where you're at. So I'm just going to give you a very gentle massage. Last night, I could barely move my back. I'm thinking, oh my God, if that was gentle, I'm in so much trouble. But it was just because I was very, very sore. Woke up this morning with a lot more freer movement. My neck feels fantastic, which is where we focused a lot of energy and time. But yes, but yeah, John says that my female chiro beat me up a lot less than my male chiro. Okay. Sports massage is a component of Cert 4 massage qualification. Remedial is a diploma. Myotherapy is an advanced diploma and possibly a degree. I'll have to have a look. I'll like, for those of you in the Zoomy group, I'll send you like the link to the page because you use a local. Kathy says, my male massage therapist is better than any of the females I've had. Unfortunately, he is training for physical therapy. So that means he's leaving. Is that what you're saying there, Kathy? Because that'll be really sad. So this guy had a little hand, like this was quite a small guy, like shorter than me. No, he's probably just a dash taller than me, but not by much. Very slight, very small. And yeah, I wouldn't say he had like big hands or anything like that. I get heaps of massages as well and prefer females, but I found men have large hands. They are like planks. Their hands span my back. It was great, different, but great. Okay. Holly says, I don't think I've ever been to a female chiropractor. Okay, there you go. I love my chiro. He's onto his 4th degree too. Makes it hard to get an appointment while he's studying. Yeah, I think mine's finished his degrees now. So hopefully, like this is the thing. I've seen him around the clinic for years. I've just never gone to him because I've always had my chiro. Oh, that's really sad. Changing practitioners is awkward, as I found out yesterday. Because everything's different and everything's new and you kind of got to go through the history again. Game Widow says she knows because she's got both those quals. All right. Massage pressure is all about leverage. Yep. Oh, John, that's awesome. My current chiro is a former Marine, so we get along great. That's great. And I think that's a really important thing to remember is no matter who your practitioner is or what kind of therapy you're getting, you need to be able to get on with them, I think, for the most part. So because I've been so sick and so like off color and everything lately, Tim and Abby, and we went to visit my mum on Monday. So they got her on board and I'm like doing the full swag of looking after yourself stuff. So I already had my chiropractor appointment. Those are booked in months in advance. And so I already had that and then jumped in and grabbed that massage yesterday, booked another one in for a month. It's probably, how do I put this? It sounds luxurious, right? Oh, look, I get a massage every month. It's probably one of the best perks of private health because it feels like it's a treat, except because of how our private health coverage is, a 1-hour massage cost me like $20. So I'm like, I will have that. Thank you. I've also booked in, I've got a doctor's appointment this afternoon, which I'm hoping to get a referral to a respiratory specialist to find out what's going on with my asthma. I have got an optometrist appointment booked in next week because this guy right here has now chewed through 2 pairs of my glasses and I'm running out. I'm running, like not these ones, but my driving glasses. I've kind of got to put them on like this. I've got like, okay, all right, like, move the head. And it's like try and just sort of gently put in because it's like sandpaper, like so yeah, so I need new glasses, but I also need to be tested. I'm just having a look here. I've just started seeing a new physio. This banner is putting me off. I'm gonna hide it. I've just started seeing a new physio who also works at my gym, and he's great. He does the physio and also provides me with a training program for the gym to work around my issues. That is awesome. Love that. Love that. Game Widow says there's many ex-military in the allied health field. In Australia, for sure. There's heaps. You got to find what works for you. And you know what? That's just like across the board for everything, isn't it? Knitting, crocheting, spinning, life. You need to find something that works for you. So it's like, I love my clover hooks. Some people hate clover hooks and like Fell's hooks. I hate Fell's hooks. Like there's so many. Oh, move. I can't see Louis. Sorry, Abby. I'll just hide that. There you go. Louis laying down. I actually moved his chair so that he was more visible and then he moved. It's like he knows when he's on camera. There we go. We'll have to get him his own light. Louis, Abby's watching. from school. It's morning tea time. That's okay. So yeah, so off color, yeah, it means both things here. But I was talking in a medical sense, so you know. I had a female that left deep bruises. I showed the owner and asked if this was typical. The therapist was asked to leave. Other people had also had the same treatment. Ooh, see, for me, like I've got bruises on my arm. Like, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's just little finger point bruises there, just there and there and there. No idea where they came from. I bump into stuff and bruise, so I don't worry about it. Because like for me, bruising's just part of my life. But if it's not part of your life, oh my gosh. Francis says I get a monthly massage and chiro visit after. It's the highlight of the month. I think it's going to be the highlight of mine too now. Because I kind of like always felt guilty historically getting a massage, right? Like, so Laura is fantastic. And I always felt guilty, like that it was some sort of luxury that I shouldn't be having. And now I'm like, you know what? It makes it so I can move, I can walk, I can sit. Like, you know, when you can't sit or lay comfortably, there's a problem. So fix that problem. I'm not going to pick him up, Abby. Just throwing it out there, but have you thought about offering massages slots during the retreat? Kelly, we have. The problem is where the retreat is, there's no local massage therapists who would travel that far. Because that would be amazing. Even just like little half an hour slots. It was something we were thinking about for last year. And trying to get a massage therapist to go, because it's hours away from anywhere. And apparently the local lady is not like not available to girls. I'll go with that. So exercise, science, and physiotherapy are common. Yep, absolutely it is. Hi to everyone not here for long. My internet allocation is almost run out and everything is so slow. Oh, sorry, Barb. I'm so sorry. And I agree with you. Massage should not hurt. It shouldn't hurt. And you know what? Mine did not hurt at all during my massage. It wasn't until last night when my body cooled down. And I actually think something else had flared up. So like, you know, another medical problem of mine flared up at the same time. So I think it was like one was like making everything nice and the other one, ah! So yeah. Like sometimes like, because, and I mean, this is this is sort of my experience with massages. Like we're talking so much about massages, nothing about craft. My experience with massages is that sometimes they may go in a little hard and then you just tell them and they just ease straight off instantly. They shouldn't go, oh, you just breathe through it. I had one massage therapist who did that years and years ago, and I never left there feeling good, honestly. And I stopped going, and I actually felt better for not going. But also there's a point where, especially if you have something that is very painful, you may feel it later, but they've been exceptionally gentle. But touching something that hurts still hurts. That's my my opinion. Yes, agree with this as well. Sometimes it does happen, but it shouldn't be bad. And if you're unhappy, always talk to them. Absolutely. A lot of people do exercise first and the master and physio after. Yeah. This is probably the best way to just some discomfort. Yes, but not pain. That's the best way to describe it. Good job, Game Widows. It's like you've talked about this before. Anyway, back to craft. OBS. Let's jump in here. And I'll keep going with the orange. Just realized my phone's like right here. That's very annoying. Why is that there? I'm thinking, what did I forget to do? Because I normally have like this list of things to do on my phone, and one of them is put the phone in a particular spot. I'd used up the so from the orange repeat previous to the middle, I had a little bit left over. So I've actually used up that row, and I've only just joined on the new ball now. So I'll have to weave in some ends. I didn't think about that before. So we'll see how that goes. Yes. Let's have a look here in the chat. oops. Yes, my physio needs to work hardish on the sore spots, but within what I can tolerate, I'll put up with it a bit because I need to break down the knots. Yeah, the guy yesterday was like, if this gets above a 6 in like the pain scale, like we'd worked out, what one was. If it works out more than a 6, to tell him so that he can just stop and move on because he does not want this to be uncomfortable. It's kind of difficult because when you have a massage, sometimes it will stir stuff up and you can feel like crap afterwards, but that's your body clearing it out. Yes, I have that when I get the cups done, like the cupping. What's it called? There's a word for it. I can't remember. I get that done every now and again. Oh man, are you kidding me? I've just joined on the yarn and there's a knot. Like, did I do that? Or is that just a knot in the ball? Oh man, this is going to be painful. I'm going to have to bring the ball through it. Hang on. I got the wrong glasses on for this job. Do I have the others handy is the question. I thought I did. I thought I had handy. No, I must have moved them out of the way. Hang on. I can't see very well with these. These are glasses meant for like 80 centimeters away to focus. Oh, cupping is what it's called. Okay, cool. Thanks. Sometimes after that, I'm a bit sore, like a day after, and then I feel great. That's why I get it done, because temporary pain, well, it's not even pain, it's discomfort. Also, people think Tim has been beating me, and I think that's funny. So, because my back just bruises like you wouldn't believe after cupping. All these little circular, like, anyone who's had cupping before knows instantly what it is. Okay. Bring the yarn through. Let's hope there's not another one of those anytime soon. That was annoying. Okay. No, Game Widows, it's all right. I've got my massage therapist up here. I'll stick with them. I've got 2 that I'm going to alternate between, I think. I think that's what I'm going to do. I haven't decided 100% yet, but I think that's what I'm going to do. So, yeah. All righty. Let's keep this going. So, obviously, I'm working on my queen, and I have got coffee in my cup. What are you working on? What drinks have you got with you? Because I know we're all on different time zones. Someone might have something exciting. I mean, coffee and tea, boring. What have you got? I've got water also. I also have water. Also have the waters because you can't live on coffee, apparently. I actually like water. I have no problems with it. Some people are like, oh, I hate drinking water. And I kind of look at them because I can't relate. I can't relate at all. Like when they say, I hate drinking water, and I kind of look at them and I'm like, really? Or like, I never drink water. I'm like, really? What do you drink instead? Kathy's got a hot cocoa. That sounds lovely. Talia is working on calming the baby. Good luck with that, Talia. Francis says, my cup is empty. I must go put the kettle on now. Okay. Leanne is having coffee and Vegemite toast, late brekkie. I had a late brekkie today, actually. Today was a really unusual start to my day because I did not have to do school run. Abby had a driving lesson where they picked her up from home and took her to school. So I was like, sweet, let's do that more. Vanfia has coffee and caramel Tim Tams, elbow injury, so not crafting. That's right. You have to look after yourself and don't make things grumpy and inflamed, says Chantel, who got told that a lot yesterday. Stop letting things get grumpy and inflamed. Give yourself a rest. Grr, rests are boring. Holly says, I'm weaving my ends in on my temperature blanket and just water in my cup. How's your temperature blanket going? Are you keeping up, Holly? I've always been a bit nervous about starting one. Obviously, not the greatest at keeping up with projects. So, yeah. John says, Oh, hang on a second. I missed one. Freaky says, I would not say I don't drink water because I has tea or hot chocolate. They use water. That is true. I'm working on a tube amp and drinking coffee with Baileys. Nice. Irish coffee. I'm browsing. No, that's not Irish. Yeah, that is. I'm browsing the cotton at Yarn Bowl. I'm a bit jealous. Like, I love the live stream and everything, but a nice Yarn Bowl visit might be nice. Yarn Bowl is probably my favorite local yarn store, I would have to say. It's so beautiful and it's set out lovely and the staff are phenomenal. I just love it there. Jancy is having coffee and late breakfast porridge. That disappeared fast. We'll bring that back. Late breakfast porridge. Nice. Coffee and banana bread for you. Lovely. Kathy's now working on a chevron pattern. Kathy, do you finish a blanket every week? Because it feels like it. Like that ripple that you've put up into the fun zone is so gorgeous. I love the colors. I just love the colors. Freaky says, you're doing okay with this blanket so far. Well, it's only taken how many years? But I am focusing on it more now. So, I mean, there is that. There's that. Leanne says, that's exciting. Buy all the cottons. John says, I plan to do a temperature blanket, bought most of the yarn for it from Stephanie's Yarn Company, and then that went away. Now I have a bunch of cotton yarn, but I don't think I have enough. John, you can still buy that yarn, but just not directly from Stephanie is the thing. I know that you may not want to, and I get that totally, but it is still available. For the temperature blanket. Yeah. Bit late from Artsock. Yeah. Looking at the clock. You didn't check in on time today. That's yeah. Yeah. I'm working on it. I don't know if I'm keeping up, but I'm definitely working on it. I feel good about it this week, let me tell you. Some weeks I feel so guilty that it's just like, I just can't deal, I can't keep. All I'm doing with my craft is my 2 hours, my 2 rows, and it's just going to take 11 billion years, only doing 2 rows at a time. Is this on autofocus? I thought I turned that off. Hang on. That's annoying. If I play with it, it's going to be naughty. All right, let me just, I can't deal with the autofocus, guys. So this might get glitchy for a second while I fix this. John says, oh, hang on a second. John says the yarn is hiding from me and I can't find it. Hang on, I need to bring that to the front. Configure the video. There we go. Let me have a look here. No, it's not an autofocus. Oh, it's just not focused at all. That's great. Let's try that. All right. Gosh, I'm a donkey. All right. Okay. There we go. Let's hopefully this hasn't ruined everything just by making it focus on something. Coffee and socks here for Knit Spin Girls. I decided to give it a try because someone I follow decided to do just the high for every Wednesday. Oh, that's a great idea. Rather than doing like the high or the low for every single day, just do it once a week. So you get a much smaller project, but yeah, but still, like I look at it, I'm like, I don't do anything that has 365 rows except for possibly this. But if I want like a blanket for the couch, that's not 365 rows. Kathy says, I have 2 projects on the go, the upstairs project and the downstairs project. When that project gets to halfway, I start another one. Okay. So that's how it seems like you're always finishing something, because you rotate the starts, and that would also mean you don't get sick of doing the same project all the time as well. Oh, I really like this idea. I mean, I can't have an upstairs and a downstairs project because I have a single story house, but I could do something. Not until after I finish this blanket though, because I need to focus to finish. But after I'm finished, I've got so many plans, so many ideas, so many gorgeous blankets that I would love to have a go of that are just a bit smaller, just a bit tinier than this ginormous blanket that will probably be oversized for a king-size bed. Oh my goodness, this thing's going to be ginormous. It will look very pretty. It will look like, I'm thinking I may have to actually renovate my bedroom so that my blanket looks good. John says, I thought I vacuum bagged all in my queue and put it in the boys' closet, but it isn't. Oh, you mean the yarn that you bought is missing as well? Oh, far out. That's frustrating. Hi, Chintamani. I'm trying hard, Kathy. I'm trying hard. I think actually giving myself permission to not work on the weekend and sit and crochet on the blanket was such a good decision, because it helped me to get past that. The yellow. I think the yellow was legit doing my head in. And so it was very nice to not have to worry about that and just get past it. Bob says that she's finished her trail socks yesterday, so thinking about what to cast on now. Okay. Nice. More socks. I've joined a new spinners group this week, and this week we're working on slubs and thick and thin. So today I'm doing my homework. Awesome. I'm not the biggest fan of art yarn. Like, it's fun to spin. Don't get me wrong. I think it's really fun to spin and to learn how to spin all the other things. But it's definitely I find it hard to use is my issue. I've got a girlfriend and she spins the most beautiful art yarn, and then she weaves it all into scarves and sells the scarves, which I think is fantastic. But I know I wouldn't do all the steps and just end up with a huge crate of slubby yarn. Putting together a big order to be sent out today, drinking boring tea. Boring tea. Oh my goodness. A long time ago, I tried doing a granny square every day and it was just too much. One day just feels doable, and I do 2 rows for every Wednesday, and it will be a nice throw blanket. Yeah, and doing 2 rows of the same color just makes it just seem less higgledy-piggledy. Sue Singleton, welcome to the chat. I keep forgetting about daylight savings time here in New South Wales. You guys don't have daylight savings right now. We're back to the same time. It's 10 for all of us on the East Coast now, isn't it? I think. I could be wrong. I'm sorry, I was late. Was watching a class on my flash drive on Orenburg shawl combing, spinning, and knitting. Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds so fun. Who's the instructor on that one? Because it sounds familiar to me, and I've got a feeling it could. I mean, it could totally be. I could totally be wrong, but I've got a class. Is it Orenburg? Yeah, it's an Orenburg. I got it from Interweave. Love it so much. And it does all the things, and just how they comb it, and it's phenomenal. It's such a good video. I'll find it and I'll share the link for it because I love it. Leanne saying, good morning to everybody. I was doing granny squares for the temperature blanket, a square a day. The center would be blue or white if it rained or snowed. And then one. Oh my gosh, that's so complicated, John. I would have quit. I would have rage quit that one. That one would be like, I'm not doing this anymore. Oh my gosh. I couldn't do day-to-day current year temperature blanket 1 square a day, so I was going to make a blanket with the temperatures from 1976. Yeah, because that way you can plan it, I suppose. But yeah, I'd still be like, nope. That's not happening. But I would still love to see it. So we need photos. I would love to. Now I popped a link of this chat in the fun zone. So if you guys want to share photos of where you're up to in your projects, please throw them in there so we can have a look. I am always interested and love to heart all your work because it's inspiring to me, because at the moment I do feel a bit like, I'm still on this blanket, and I do feel like I'm missing out on doing all the fun things because I'm still on this blanket. But I also get like, I'm making this list of patterns that I just want to try or decide if I want to try. And that's all coming from your work. So I cannot wait to see more of your work. Oops, did the wrong stitch. It's the other way around. That. Then this. Okay. Chantel. Where's the pattern? Because you're at the end of the row. This was the last repeat. Okay, okay. Okay, I do that. Sorry, guys. Last repeat's always different. I need to check it. It feels like that shouldn't be stacked on there, but it is. Okay, then this one feels wrong. Let me just, I mean, it doesn't look wrong, does it? It just feels wrong. Oh, thank you, Leanne's popped the link in for today's chat. I appreciate that. Wow, it took nearly the whole live, but I've purchased the pattern that you wanted without using PayPal. Oh, there's got to be options for people, right? Like even on my website, like, do you know what? As a seller, I prefer PayPal. Honestly, it protects my sales. And it makes it so the customers feel protected as well. But I have plenty of people who don't want to use PayPal. So I also make it so they can direct deposit in my bank account because that makes sense to me. Anyway. Alrighty, we are at the end of the row. I do have scissors somewhere. Flip. And believe it or not, I'm going to work from the outside of this ball, unlike the rest of the blanket, which I've done from the inside, because I know that I'm going to have, oops, by keyboard, I'm going to have leftovers of all these other balls. Like these ones I didn't care too much about because I knew I was going to use up the leftovers. Those ones I want to be able to keep the leftovers in their yarn wrappers. So I'll pop that over there so that I can utilize them for other things or the edge of this blanket when it comes time to edging this blanket. All right, we are on to the purple. Back to the beginning. Join it on. 3 and 3. That's right. Okay, just double checking because I'm always skeptical when it's the same number. I'm always like, what have I done wrong? What did I do? Did I miss something? The answer is no. The pattern says to do that, Chantel. So just keep going. What's going on here? I'm onto my second Mojo sock. They're the strangest looking things in your foot, but really comfortable to wear. Was that the one you posted a picture of that was really floppy? Or was that someone else? It might have been someone else. I think I missed something freaky. I don't know why I would be outside for the live. The answer is no, I don't want to. I've just got all in here set up. I'm comfy now. I have a chevron blanket, been working on it for about 6 years, found a knot in the yarn way back. It's going to unravel. How do I fix it? Found a knot in the yarn. Did you knot your yarn? I don't know. How are you going to fix it? I'm really rubbish at fixing things. If anyone's got suggestions, I mean, for the first things first, I would be getting a whole pile of stitch markers in there and clicking and connecting as many of the stitches as possible so that if it does unravel, it only unravels a little bit. Make sure, and you can, depending on where and how, you can do a treble or something like that, or a group of trebles or whatever, and do them kind of like post stitches to try and link them in, or you're going to have to just do the trebles and then sew them into the row above it. That I'm sure somebody can help you better than I can. But I mean, my number one thing is I never knot the yarn. I always weave the ends in with long tails so that in the washing process, if a tail starts to come out, I can actually get back in and weave it back in. So if you have a look here, I've just tied a bow there for now, just so that it doesn't get stuck. But I mean, I don't have too many tails. But if you look here, there's no bow. The bow came undone. That's just waiting for me to go back and weave them in. And I'll probably weave that much in because I want to be able to keep weaving it back. Weaving it back in if it comes undone. So, I mean, that doesn't help you now. I know. But I'm a bit funny about knots. Being somebody who's done weaving, you understand the best way to break some yarn is to actually tie a knot in it, and you can just snap it. It creates a weak point. So I don't like adding knots to anything. Yeah. Knitspin Girl says, "Did you learn from my mistake?" Which thing? Just because, I mean, I'm making mistakes all the time, so I just need to clarify. I'm working from the outside of the ball. Okay. All right. Rebecca says, "I learned a new way of plying, so I need to get some silk to spin up." That is awesome. Oh, Sue says the knot was in the yarn ball. Yeah, I always cut those knots out. I feel them when I'm crocheting, and I it's one of the reasons why I don't like whirls, because of all the knots. It's how they join the different colors, and my brain can't deal with it. So I don't enjoy using whirls. But yeah, mill knots are terrible. And I know, and you didn't add that, but I wouldn't have left it in ever, really. They never tied properly. Like, I don't think I've actually ever had a mill knot stay in, but I always just cut them out because I can't trust what someone else has done on something that I'm making, because I am a control freak. And what have I done there? I botched that up. Let's just fix it. Let's try again. Let's try joining the yarn on 14 times. Yeah, total control freak. If I haven't tied the knot, I don't trust the knot. Claire has got some, Bob's saying Claire's got some fixes. So I know there's some amazingly talented people out there that can do fixes really, really well. I'm not one of them. I'm that person that will pull back an entire thing to fix it or bin it. Like, nope, can't fix it. Bye-bye thing. But gosh, yes, you definitely want to try and fix that because it's 6 years worth of work. Okay, let's try again. Come on, fingers. You've got this, right? Yay! How many tries? Fabric glue. Someone said fabric glue on the knots. Yeah, I mean, I can see how that would work. I mean, doesn't fabric glue get really hard though? It would be freaky, but if the section is going to unravel, it gives it. Oh, okay. Hang on. Oh, sorry, Knitspin Girls. Yeah, no, it was just because I wanted to like talking about the yarn from the inside of the ball. No, it was just because I knew that, like, when I'm going to be working on yarn, I'm going to use all the ball. I prefer to work from the inside. If I know I'm not going to use all of the ball, I would prefer to work from the outside. It's just a personal thing. There's no logic to it. None. Zero logic. I just realized something. Sorry. Only I can see this. But in StreamYard, it doesn't usually make the people's names green if they are channel members. And Sue's icon is green for her name. Like, Sue has got a green circle with an S in it. And I just realized, I was like, hang on a second. Sue's got all greens. And so is Leanne. Leanne, it doesn't show you as blue. I'm sorry. Not in here. In the YouTube stream it does, but not in this one. I'm sorry. I just sidetracked. Shiny thing. Let's have a look here. Deb D, welcome to the chat. Hello. Hope you're having an awesome day. Natalie Power, welcome to the chat as well. I'm working on a cow with cables, and it's gotten to a bit where I need to use my brain, and I can't do that and listen to you at the same time. Pause the video or pause the crochet. Oh, pause the crochet it is. I'm so sorry. I do understand that. There are definitely things I can't craft too. Good choice. I mean, the reality is, like, you can always watch the replay. You guys know that if you catch the replay, I do reply to your comments, right? I make a big effort to make sure I do. Answer any questions. I try really hard. Even people who comment on videos that are like 7 years old, I try really hard to go in and answer their questions. Oh, did you jump down low? Okay. Are you all right? So we put the little carpets down that were out in the shack. I put those down in here. And Louis is loving sleeping on the floor in here now because he liked sleeping on a carpet in the shack before. We don't have any carpet in our house, so it's novel. Don't dig it up, you donkey. Yeah, our house is all lino. So it's very novel for him to have access to carpet. Are you digging? Stop that. You're digging to the other side of the world. You don't need to. Let me have a look here. And Leanne says, oh, yes, hello to the replay watchers. We appreciate you. John says, I can't watch the replays. I like to be interactive. I get it. I get it. I get it. I personally prefer to be on the live, but I can't always be because time zones and what have yous. And, you know, my biggest one is like, it's like, damn it, I've got to do a school run. It's like, I could be here enjoying myself, but no, Abby doesn't want to catch the bus today. How selfish is that, right? Like, of Abby to not want to catch the bus so I can watch the live stream I want to watch. Oh my gosh. Hang on. I just need to count. Okay. Yeah, I definitely do think being part of the live on a live stream is a lot more fun, but sometimes we can't be everywhere at once. Okay, now we go to standard repeat. Make you big little repeat. Okay. Oh, yes, I did the right thing. I'm looking and going, no, I don't have a thing. It's all good. It's all good. Lots of people who are the same don't like watching replays. It's a bit like watching a one-sided conversation. It's a little bit. It's kind of why I try to put the conversations up on screens when I remember as well, so you can see the question I'm answering. Freaky says, I'm too square to be everywhere. Oh, just so that oh, I forgot that we are not Zooming and wonder why you are not answering me. Well, yeah, I can imagine the frustration. Rebecca says that she wants to find myself some Orenburg shawl kits, shawl books. Any ideas? I want my own copies. I've got one. I can't remember the name of it. I'll pop it into the Fiberific Fun Zone. I think I got it from Amazon or something like that. And it's real. It might be Hapsal rather than Orenburg, actually. It might be a Hapsal shawl book. I'll have to have a look. But yeah. And I love it. It's beautiful and it's well done and it's got some fantastic designs in it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Leanne says, I watch so I don't miss out on anything. FOMO is real. Leanne's getting in everywhere. I noticed Leanne is commenting on Doug's stuff now. Doug is awesome. He's one of my YouTube creator friends. He's another Australian. He's got a little channel. I interviewed him a few weeks back over on the new channel. Oh, just as a quick heads up, tomorrow's live had to get postponed. So there is no live over on, well, no Tiffany over on tomorrow's live. She's going to be in a couple of weeks. She had something come up. But yeah, so I'm still tossing up whether or not I will just go live. I don't know. I don't really know if there's enough of us in there for a Q&A like we do here. So, and I can't craft while I do it. So I don't have a security blanket. I really miss that, let me tell you. Just launched some jump rings onto the floor again. Oh no. I find it hard to comment on the replay because you make notes where you want to say anything, but they're disjointed and only make sense while watching it. That doesn't put me off watching a replay though. I would say that's one of the advantages that the Facebook lives have over the YouTube lives, is that they insert the comments at the point where you are watching, rather than just all in the things down below. Is that right? I think that's right. So yeah. Kathy says, let me know if you go live tomorrow. I like to watch. I will. I'll definitely put it out there. I'm going to sort of sit down and have a think about it this afternoon, and I'll decide tonight. So you'll get some notice, but I don't even know where I'm up to here. Hang on. Now I know where I'm up to. Just, it's a new row, and this one doesn't have a logical count yet. Oh yes, it does. I just saw it. It's all good. So it's fine. It's fine. Oh gosh. Can you post the fun zone if you go live, please? So I will put a post in the fun zone this week, but I'm concerned, not for you, Freaky, but my concern is that it's not a huge concern. It's just I'm trying to keep the things separate. I mean, because I'm one person, it's very hard in my brain to keep them separate, but I'm trying to keep the yarn crafting and the live streaming side stuff separated, more so that I don't annoy the yarn crafting guys and gals with annoying posts I don't care about. And I think that's probably I think that's probably the thing, is I'm worried that if I post, hey, I'm going live on the other channel, going to be talking about blah, 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 that's totally not yarn related. I'm worried that you guys will get annoyed, and I don't want to annoy you because I like what we have here, and I just don't want, I don't want to bother people. Does that make sense? 1, 2, 3. I suppose I can do it once or twice and see if it does bother people and go from there. Yeah. Where am I up to? That's that one. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think a poll in the fun zone so that I could find out for certain, because I don't want to annoy people over there. You guys are all there for yarn, and I love yarn, and I want to be there for yarn too. Jen Deal has made it. Awesome, Jen. It's good to see you in here. Yeah. Personally, I like to be the annoying one, not getting annoyed. See? Oh, yeah, Jackie, when you get half an hour back because you got your meeting time wrong. Woot. Oh, dear. 1, 2, 3. All right. Oh, John, that's very nice of you to say. I'm not here for yarn. I'm here for Chantel. Oh, make me get all emotional bits. No emotions here. None. Leanne says, I'm enjoying learning about how YouTube works, and others may too. Yeah. I actually think it's a good thing as a user of a platform to understand how that platform's using your data. Like, aside from the whole YouTube thing, I think it's important for people to understand, like, the information that I have access to in my analytics from just people being logged in so they can chat. It's a lot. It's surprising how much. Oh, don't tell me I screwified that. Hang on a second. I think I botched something. I think it's botched. No, I didn't botch it. I just was reading the thing. Yeah, data is currency. That's the thing to remember. If something is free for you, then you're the product. That's something that's really important to remember. Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. If it's free for you to use, you are the product. Your data is the product. Yeah. Someone's yeah, because staying on the good side of me is so important. Oh my gosh. I thought I really screwed that up, but I just hadn't done the right stitch and it was messing it up on this row. Previous row, fine. I think it's just because over the weekend, when I came across something that didn't look right, it wasn't right. So, yeah. Ruth Young, welcome to the chat. We're just, you know us, Ruth. You can jump in whenever. It's all good. Sue Ellen, welcome back. If we were to share a video and that video had ads, we don't get paid for sharing. Oh, well, yet. But whoever created the video may, possibly, depending on if they're monetized, because YouTube now also allow ads on non-monetized channels. So just because a channel has ads doesn't mean they're actually making any money yet. It's all very interesting. I find all of it very interesting, and I know not everybody does. That's which is why I try not to go too deep here, and that's why I made the other channel so I can go deep over there. But yeah, I will try and keep that in mind, Freaky, to share it. I'll run a poll in the fun zone first. I'll run that this afternoon and give that a couple of days, but I will share whether I go live or not tomorrow in the fun zone. 1, 2, 3. So yeah. It's all very I'm always blown away by the information. Like, I know that, like, from owning and building a website, the information that Google gives me on the people who visit my site, and it makes me realize that no matter how much protection I've put on my end, like, so when I'm visiting a website, my information is still available to the website holder if they know how to look at it. I'll be honest, I rarely look at that stuff, other than, like, if I'm having a problem, I'll be like, what's going on? But usually I don't. And if I put out a newsletter, I always like to see if people click through straight away. Oh gosh. I've got work tomorrow and then a Cub Scout meeting after work, so probably won't be around for live. That's all good. I'm not even sure if I'm going to go live yet, but we'll see. I will share what I like, and if that person gets paid, that's a bonus. A channel is shared, the more likely they will get enough subs to get monetized. That is truth, Jackie. This is one of the discussions we've been having in some of the groups I'm a member of, about new channels that aren't monetized yet, like my new channel, it's not monetized yet. And about how hard it is to actually get people to subscribe. And the realization that YouTube makes it so people don't need to subscribe to get your content anymore. And it's just one of those really, it just goes round and round and round. Okay, so this is the deal. I'm going to give you a 5-second overview. Are you ready? So I can say like, subscribe, and get notified, right? So that I have that come up. So you guys get a little image to remind you to like, subscribe, and get notified. Okay. So the thing is that the YouTube algorithms and serving tools is what I like to think of them as. They're serving you, the viewer, all the videos that you want to watch on your homepage. So if you went in and watched an awesome cat video that you absolutely loved, what YouTube now do is go, well, you love that cat video and you also like yarn videos. So other people who like yarn videos and liked that cat video actually also like this other video. So they suggest that third video to you, because people who've watched similar content to you also like that other thing. So that's what they try and do. So they've got this amazing tool for serving you videos you'll enjoy, or suggesting the suggested videos. So that's awesome. But what happens is, on a creator side, every goal that YouTube has for access to different tools and all sorts of things. Like, so you have to get 100 subscribers to be able to get your custom URL. So that I could have like youtube.com/Fiberific. I had to get 100 subscribers before I could get that. Then I have to get 500 subscribers before I can get access to the community tab. And then I need 1,000 subscribers as well as 4,000 watch hours in the last 365 days to get monetized. And that's if your channel is monetizable. Not all channels are. Then you need to get to 10,000 subscribers to be able to have access to more tools. So things like the YouTube stories and merch shelf that appears directly below the video, so I could have all my stuff sitting right there, and on it goes. Like, after about 10,000 subscribers, it's mostly things like play buttons and access to YouTube staff. But the problem is YouTube have made all these goals all subscriber driven, and then have gone around and told basically all of the viewers, you don't need to subscribe anymore because we'll just give you what you want to see. And so you've got all these like creators that are just like, but dudes, I really do need you to subscribe, because otherwise I can't have this. I can't do this thing that would actually benefit you, because I need you to subscribe so that I can get it. And so, yeah, it's this constant thing. Anyway, it's one of those things that in my brain, I'm just like, I don't know why. Like, I understand the reason for needing to have proof that you're not evil and not doing bad stuff. I get it. So, but I'm just like, oh, why do they do this? Anyway, they've got their own reasons, I'm sure, and I don't understand the bigger picture, but yeah, it is frustrating. So back to the crochet. Sorry, guys. It was just something that my brain was like, I need to get this out. So, John says, I have 35 subscribers and I have no idea why. People are just waiting to see if you'll put something out, John. Ruth, that is an awesome thing to point out. Thank you. Has everyone thumbed up? I'm freaky. I don't need much help to get derailed. Oh, hang on. And then Jackie says, and then you feel like you're begging all of the time and you have to do that hard sell. And that's the other thing is I don't like it. And that's why I'm not really doing it over on the other channel. I'm asking for likes instead. And it means it's slow growth. And it means I probably won't get that channel monetized in a really long time. Yeah. No, don't even worry about that. It's not hard to derail me. And Gabe Widows. And then there's 5-minute crafts who just make garbage and take up watch time. And there's people who are like, I tried it, it doesn't work. And it's just like, it's not meant to work. It never works. Oh, goodness me. Yes. It's good to know so we understand how it works and how we can support the people that we like. I think that's one of those things. I think it is. Like, I remember when I put out a video, it'd be years ago, talking about ways to support creators that doesn't cost you anything, because not everybody has the $1 to go and buy the merch or go and, buy their products or whatever, or attend conferences or, any of those things. And it was talking about how, liking their content and watching it to the end and sharing it out and liking their social media posts and how all these things are actually really, and they're really, it's still all true. There might be some slight, changes, but it's been a long time since I've rewatched it, so hopefully it's all right. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's just really, really hard. And then, you get to a point where you're like, okay, you know what? I've got everything I need for now. And you just settle back and you enjoy, like here, right? Here in Fiberific, my goal is not more subs. It's that simple. Here at Fiberific, that's not my goal. My goal is to hang out with you guys in the community here in the live streams and over on the fun zone. And you guys that are on the live streams are amazing and supportive. And so many of you have joined the channel membership. And so that I get a direct cut of that, which I'm always so blown away. Since you guys started doing that, YouTube now are paying me, It's a little bit every month, whereas before they've got like this $100 tier. Like if you don't hit $100, you don't get paid until the following month. And it could take 2 to 3 months for me to get paid from YouTube. And now I'm just sort of just hitting that $100 every month. And it's awesome. And it's super helpful. And just knowing it's coming in. And little things like that make a huge, huge difference for creators. But I also know that not everybody can do that either. So just being there and, you know, joining in the live streams and being part of the community and asking questions and showing you things and over on the Facebook group. I love all of that. That's what I love about Fiberific here. Now, ultimately, I'd like the other channel to do a bit better. So hopefully I'm going to do things differently over there. Because I know what I need to do to create growth. And I don't do it here because I don't want to do it here. Hope you guys don't mind. But yeah, so here I like hanging out. Hanging out's fun. Hanging out and crafting. Leanne also finds it all fascinating as well. But then you hope it's sustainable growth. That's the thing. Yep. Trying to explain to my daughter why they're full of it and won't work. Yep. Kathy says, I put you on my computer and my TV for live. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Lisby is powering through her cosmic cow. Hang on, I've got to read it again. I'm powering through my cosmic cow, getting past the rose I hated. Yeah, come on. That's awesome. I feel the same way about this. I've got past the yellow. I didn't realize how much I hated working on the yellow. I'm in the orange now. I'm like, ooh, the next color is such and such. The excitement level's back again. So it's amazing what just getting through something will do. Leonie, welcome to the chat. I'm intermittent today, watching between chores and working a shadow wrap heel. Well, I haven't tried that one. I'll have to have a look up what that is. Yeah. Awesome. Do I have any coffee left? Oh, I do. Do you know when you're like, oh, I hope I've got one more sip left? I have more than one sip left. Ha, ha, ha. And there's still some in there. Where am I up to? Here. Okay. So my goal, right, was after last week's live stream was to do one row every day, and then extras during live stream. So just to sit down and do a row, and that should have meant that let me think. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 rows. I think that's how I count them. I probably counted them wrong. But yeah, so I did sort of 2 weeks worth of rows in a week. I'm very proud of myself, and I'm going to continue doing a row a day to see how I go with it. Oh, I did it again. That same spot. That's what it is. I'm like, no, I can't do 4 there, and it's because I hadn't done the double crochet first. Now I can do 4. But yeah. So what are your goals for your projects? Do you guys set not so much time frames, but like, okay, I would like to get a little bit done each day, or do you just do it when you feel like it and that's it, and it could sit in the naughty corner for a while? Yeah. Or are you doing what I'm doing at the moment, which this is new for me. I don't normally set like a daily goal, so I'm seeing if I can do it. So yeah, Thursdays I get my goals by doing the live stream, because I just want to do 1 row a day, and I've already done 1 row now. So, and I'm not even finished. Working on a shawl from Expression Fibre Arts. Still have at least 6 color changes on shawlography. Did you need a break? Because I understand that. I'm a get it done person. I'm not a get it done person. Freaky says, I keep working on it until I run out of yarn, then it sits on the back burner of an imaginary stove till I get more yarn. I was concerned, like, and this may still well happen depending on how long it takes for my latest order of this purple eggplant to arrive. This may end up having to go on the back burner. I've got a couple of projects that I can bring on stream that are already started, that I know where I'm up to, so that I can just go along with them, just in case, because I did get a notification when I placed my Knit Picks order that there could be some serious delays, but it has shipped already. So that is a good start, that it's already shipped. So, Ruth needed a break. Yeah, it looks like a really full-on project, but looks also stunning and amazing. It's a great way to get through it. I made my goal so large. I made my goal too large, so now I've cut that unachievable goal in half. I'm managing it better now. That's the other thing, isn't it? Like, you think you got more time you do, or you think you're working faster than you are. Because I know that when I'm sitting and crocheting by myself, like not chatting with you guys, I get through the rows a lot faster. And so I try to use that logic rather than this logic. So that's when I decided, like last week, that no, I'm going to work on one a day, not half an hour a day, expecting to get 2 or 3. The imaginary stove. Yeah. Me too. Where's the, hang on, I posted the wrong thing. There's a Kit Kat one. I'd love a Kit Kat during the break, but I sadly have to wait till Monday. I'd love a Kit Kat too. I don't have one. I want to get 4 or 5 scarves woven by the end of May, when my group has our show, trying to use up some yarn and hopefully make some dollars. That's a doable goal. Like, obviously it depends on the scarves and the thickness of the yarn, but I can normally weave up a little scarf in like a day. How many did you want to get? 4 or 5 by the end of May? So you could do 1 a week, maybe. I don't know. How fast can you weave them up? I wish I was better at setting goals and sticking to them. The only time I'm good at stick with a project is when I have a hard deadline to meet. And that's the thing as well, isn't it? Like, do you, like Leanne's projects usually have a hard deadline because they're gifts for someone's birthday or something like that. This has no deadline. This is just a blanket for me. So therefore I'm like, yeah, whatever. When it comes to like work and stuff, I'm very good at like, that's the goal, hit the goal. But when it comes to something like this, where there is technically there's no deadline for it, it's just a project I'm working on, it makes it very hard. So Ellen says, I signed up to a 6-month Fibre Club to get me kickstarted again on spinning. It's working. I've done some blending board work and spinning, but now I need to hang some, dye some. Okay. Well, you'll get there. You'll get there. I promised my daughter a jumper years ago. I need to reconfirm the pattern she likes and hope the wool I spun is still suitable. I mean, and that's the other thing. Like, if you're creating the yarn for your projects, you've got to make the allowances for that time as well. It's not just the actual project time, it's the creation of the yarn time too. So, I mean, so much goes into that. I really hope that she still likes that pattern and that yarn too, especially if you've done all that work. But yeah, it's definitely, it's a skill. It's like people talk about, oh, crochet is a skill, knitting's a skill, time management is a skill. Time management of our crafts is a skill, because we see it, unless you're a yarn business or a craft business or whatever, you see it as not a necessary thing. It's craft, it's a hobby, it doesn't have to be done. But at the same time, if you've got a goal of a birthday or something like that, that's a hard goal. You need to do that. So yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. It messes with your head a bit. Yeah, 1 a week from Francis. Yeah, I could do one. Yeah, 1 a week feels like a good goal. Especially if you've already got the yarn. Like, it's not like you've got to spin the yarn as well. You've already got the yarn. You're just doing the weaving. Yeah, and the warping is the time suck. Absolutely. I have a calendar blanket that I'm almost done with. My goal is to finish it this year. It's my 2019 calendar blanket. 2019 was a year that was poop. Very poignant. I am. 2019, the year of poop. Oh no, 2020 was more of a year of poop, wasn't it? Rebecca is asking, how long does it take for a spindle to arrive from Mexico to Minnesota? Well, I mean, I get stuff shipped from the US to Australia, allow 4 to 8 weeks, I would say, easily. Jackie Doyle's got to go. Bye-bye. Yeah, 4 to 8 weeks, without a doubt. I would not be expecting it any sooner, because it's also wood, so it has to go through customs. It's going to take time. Yeah. So yeah. But if it's if it's a spindle, I think it's the one you're talking about. It will be worth the wait. Absolutely. What generally happens when I order from like Snyder Spindles is I order it, I get excited, I wait a couple of weeks, my brain's like, when's my spindle coming? When's my spindle coming? Then I actually forget about it, and then it arrives, and I'm like, oh, that's right, I ordered a spindle. I'm so excited. That tends to be how I deal with most stuff. Companies like Nitpicks and some of those other huge international companies, they get special deals and special rates for their postage. Individual creators do not. So their postage is not prioritized in any way. It's always left until after all this other stuff is gone. So yeah, like it's just one of those things. You just patience and wait. So easy to say, so hard to do. So yeah. Oh look, I've just realized there's the end. We're nearly there again. Woohoo! Where am I up to? I'm doing that. Okay. What has slowed me down is that it's a faux art blanket, so a bunch of appliques that have to be sewn on, and I hate sewing. Ugh, I know your pain. I don't hate sewing. I'm just rubbish at it. I enjoy it, but I always like when I make like amigurumi and things like that. If they think you have to, like, if you've got to draw their little faces on, mine and end up never having a face, because the second I have to draw something on, it ruins it. So I'm always super worried about stuff. Also, me and hand sewing, rubbish. I don't mind sewing on a machine. I've actually been learning some applique techniques on a sewing machine, but I don't know if you could do that with a yarn blanket. I do have a little herd of the little sheeps. I do. Oh, here we go. We have a question for the Brains Trust. Does anyone who has any physical weaknesses of any sort have experience with rigid heddle and floor loom weaving, and have a preference which is less physically demanding? Oh, I have used floor looms and rigid heddles. I've got busted legs and busted wrists, right? Mostly my legs and knees are the biggest issues. My wrists just get tired, and I've got a tendinosis problem in this arm. They are both good and bad. That's what it's going to come down to. They're both good and bad. Hang on. I'll bring that up. The reason I say they're both good and bad is because usually with a floor loom, it's a lot more effort to get in and warp it up. And you have to get underneath it, and you've got to, like, it is physically hard warping it, right? But once you're weaving on it, the weaving process is quite often just foot treadles and arm movements. So that is the thing. For me, I find the warping on a rigid heddle or a table loom so much easier. Because I'm upright, I'm walking. I normally walk mine from one table to another. So I'm walking between tables. I'm not down on my hands and knees. I'm not down on the ground. I'm not bending over into something. I'm just upright, just warping. And it's a little bit cumbersome on your shoulders, whatever. But it's a lot easier. Now, it's going to come down to what you're making, because sometimes you need that big width of a floor loom. But if you're doing something small, then a rigid heddle is going to be way, way better. I've got a table loom that's got 4 shafts. So I've got like little tabs I've got to pull. I haven't used it much, but I can imagine it would be like the happy medium between the two, if that makes sense. So that's my opinion. And everybody with different physical ailments could have different opinions. So moving on. At least the shawl from Expression Fibre Arts is crocheted, so a much needed break. I was doing shawlography as a tryout. It's been a long time since I knitted a big project. Yeah, I actually think it's really good to, if you can do both, not everybody can, but if you can knit and crochet, to alternate between the projects, because even though you're using your hands for everything, it's you're holding things differently, and so different muscles get a rest, different muscles get worked. So it's definitely a thing. Here we go. Game Widows has a rubbish elbow and rheumatoid arthritis. She loves her rigid heddle. Knitspin Girls says warping on a rigid heddle is easier on the body. At least it is on hers. Francis says, I tried a Sari loom recently that's designed to be easier for people to use with disabilities. Plus, you can buy pre-warped rolls. Okay. Caroline McMahon says, I bought a Sari loom, really easy to use. So, yeah, there's lots of, and it's going to come down to what your physical difficulties are. For me, it's my legs. Like if I can't get down into the ground. Well, I can't get back up again is the problem. And I can't just squat or kneel or anything like that to be able to do things while I'm down there. I've actually got to either sit or stand and bend. They're my options, because my knees are dumb. They hate me and they're dumb. They're stupid knees. I don't recommend my knees. 1 star would give 0 stars if 0 stars was an option. So yeah. Freaky says you can always learn a workaround that suits your situation. You can, but with the floor looms, at least for the first time, you've still got to get in there to warp that sucker up. There's ways to make it so that when you cut off your warp, you can actually tie little leader threads on straight away, so that your next warp, if you're warping up a similar project, you can actually just roll the leader threads and it pulls everything through. But you've still got to set it all up the first time. So, yeah. Sounds like your hips. Possibly. Makes life not fun. No fun bits. So, yeah. But ask around. Sometimes even having a go. But the big thing comes down to what is it you want to make. So, yeah, you've just got to work it out. What do you want to make? And does it need to be on a big floor loom? Can it be on something small? Can it be on a table loom? For me, it's my lack of energy and the ease of which I fatigue. I had suspicions of what you have all said. Hard on the body to warp the floor, maybe easier once weaving. Well, Dolores, this is the thing. If yours is like a lack of energy and fatigue, you can warp and pause. You don't have to warp it all at once. You can take a week to warp it. It's not a job that has to be done instantly. So, and then you would have, excuse me, it would be easier to weave on. That's the other thing to remember is rigid heddles. Once you start warping, you kind of got to finish the job. When it comes to your floor looms and your table looms, you've got the option to pause depending on your space. So, yeah, it comes down to what it is. So, yeah, I'm looking at getting a warping frame so I don't have to walk out. Yep, that works as well. What are your thoughts on rose or lotus fiber? I've used rose fiber. I don't have huge opinions on these. I'm a bit of a, how did they get the celluloses to be a big long fiber like that? That means that they have had to treat it and extrude it. So that is an issue for me, depending on how that's made. But I mean, as a fibre, it was nice enough to spin. But yeah, it depends. And I think it's always good to have a play with something and to make your own opinions, because I may really dislike it, but you may love it. I know people who hate spinning silk, and I'm like, are you insane? I love spinning silk. So, yeah. So yeah, so you've got some options, Dolores. There are some options out there for you. And as I said, don't rule stuff out just because we've said it. Sometimes you need to have a go if you can. Game Leader says, I don't know anything about Lotus Fibre. I only know about the rose out of those two. Because that's the thing, like I'm in team don't like bamboo fibre. So many people love it, but I don't like it. It's Been Girl says, I think Lotus, I think rose fibre is produced like rayon, lots of chemicals. It's lovely and soft though. Yeah. So, you know, you've got to have a think about it. Oh no, let's be here. I've got scissors. You can borrow mine. Can you reach? I've got a spare set just here. And then 2 more just in the kitchen. Oh, I'm mean, aren't I? You guys will all get me back next time when I can't find my scissors. I figured you guys were a great place to start and appreciate everyone's thoughts. You're welcome. We always give our thoughts. We have opinions. We shall share them. Just a touch too far away, Lisby. just lean over. Just lean more. Wouldn't that be nice? A bit like Wonka Vision for scissors. Even Freaky's wacky one. Rebecca says, I want to try them on my Orenburg shawls, or it's the silk be better. I don't know which one would be better. I reckon, like, if you're going to make a pile of shawls, like, play with them, see which one you like, because you don't need heaps of fiber for an Orenburg shawl, because they're like wedding ring shawls. They're very fine and they don't require huge amounts of yarn. I don't know. I would play with it. You can do a test spin. If you enjoy spinning it, you'll probably enjoy working with it. Lisby's just going to sulk for a while. Okay. Oh, I'm in the last repeat. Hang on. I've got to move the thing so I can work out what I'm supposed to do here. Then it's 1, 2, and then that. And then that. We're nearly at the end. Okay, I've got the right count. It's all up. Lisby found them. Crisis averted. Nispin Girl says, I'd use the silk. I don't know for how well Rose or Lotus would block. That's the thing. I've never used either of them for that sort of thing. I like silk. Silk is awesome. But, you know, if you want to experiment, then you could do a little swatch, like just make a little sample size thing. You don't have to do a whole shawl out of it. Oh, should we start another row? I reckon we should. Because I found somewhere to put my blanket out of the way, even mid-row, so I don't have to think. Here we go. Leonie says, my son has had a stroke. He uses a rigid heddle and ESP inner. I don't know what that is. I help with the warping it up. It's helping him with his muscle memory as he can't use his right side. Oh, there you go. That's awesome that he's able to do some. Oh, no. I was actually talking to my mum. We were talking about, you know, skin and sun and all that stuff. I was joking about how pale I am. And she's like, you actually have olive skin. And I'm like, no, I don't. I am a little white snowflake, Mum. And she was just like, well, then your skin must have changed because you would go in the sun and become like really olive and not quite tanned, but definitely the tone of your skin would change. And then she was like, okay, show me your driving arm up against your tummy. And I showed her, which I'm not doing for you guys. And she was like, see? And my husband was just like, oh my God, that's a huge difference. It's just like, isn't everybody's driving arm a bit tanned? Mum was just like, no, white snowflakes driving arms don't get tanned. So yeah, that's the conversations I have with my mum. I'm not a snowflake, apparently. And she thinks I should go out and get more sun because she's been going out and getting more sun. So I'm just like, nah. My projects are too big. I can't take them outside. Game Widow says, and that's the thing. My mum says that I'm not like that. Game Widow says my legs are so white, they're blue. My legs are so white, they're white. They're not blue though. Yeah, I think Mum is concerned. I mean, they did all jump on the Chantel Health bandwagon. I actually think that was the purpose of the visit. So it was like a health intervention thing because I'm like, I'm keeping up with everything. I'm all right. And they're like, nope, we disagree. So that goes there. Then one. Sorry, I'm just starting a new round so you guys know the deal. Okay. Holly says, my driving arm is not 10. I am still a snowflake. I'm definitely a snowflake. I can burn between buildings. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but I know those feels. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. I purposefully wore emerald green to my wedding because any lighter color and I'd fade into the dress. Get that? My driving arm is 10, but only as there's twice as many freckles. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. We are hilarious. We are. Like, people say to me, what do you guys talk about for 2 hours in a live stream? Like, everything, anything. Like, the only constant is that there is at some stage some discussion of craft. Maybe 2 of those. 2 of that. Then that. Oh, this is one of those annoying rows where nothing makes sense. Oh, how annoying. I like it when I can get a nice rhythm. This is not that. Oh, man, it's been a long time since I've had one of these annoying rows. And it looks wrong, like on the stitches. I'll be 10 tomorrow. Oh, gosh. Death and taxes, yeah. That's and that. There's there. Okay, hang on. This is very hard. This row is very hard to concentrate on and chat. I'm sorry. I might have to pause the row. I'm going to give one more repeat and see if I can do both. Do you guys ever get like that where it's just like, you know what, this project, this part of the project, I cannot do in company? Well, I know one person who paused the craft because the craft was too hard to watch the live stream. Yeah, I think I'll have to pause this row. It's very difficult to keep on top of. Grumps has gone to daddy. Now I can work on his elephant. Oh, that's awesome. That's so good that you get your arms back for a little while. That's why I have multiple projects, one for being interrupted and one for do not go near me. Oh, we'll see with this queen, like more often than not, the rows are fine. It's just every now and again you get a row or a couple of rows where it's a bit trickier. I have my projects. I don't drink and knit lace anymore. Me neither. I learned that lesson. You spelled 10 wrong. I like that. I have my projects that I socialize with, and I'm doing it with others, and that needs concentrating on. I cannot work on the Miss Sophie's blanket with any distraction. Yep. Oh, Talia did a pinhole cast on for the first time yesterday. Nice job. That's why it took a year to do the last repeat of my cosmic. Stupid husband kept talking to me. The count has to be perfect. Yeah, that gets to be that. And that's the same problem with this one, is it's got to be right or it's wrong. That's logical. It's got to be right or it's wrong. Crochet that onto a cushion. Where am I? Oh, speaking of wrong, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I did it the wrong way around. Okay. Alrighty, yeah, I'm gonna have to put this down. I'll just get through this little bitty here. All right. Yeah, this row doesn't like being on camera. It's a baby row. And where I don't want to be on camera. All right. So we'll do this. I'll drink coffee and chat. That coffee only took me 2 hours to drink. It's finished now. Last bit was cold. So I am fully excited that I will be finished the orange. Let me look. I marked it on. I'm onto that row 147. I would love to say I'll be finished by next week. I won't be. I won't be finished before next week. We'll still be working on orange next week, I think. You know, unless I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing any work again this weekend. I mean, I could do it then. Because according to the chart, I'm on row 147. I'm actually on row 211, but this chart's 147. And the color changes on 159. So it's like, 12 more rows. So it's technically nearly 2 weeks worth. If I keep to my 1 row a week, 1 row a day. Rebecca says those rows are called OCD rows. Okay. All right. Good to know. Good to know. They have a name. But yeah, I just have to concentrate harder. That's all. I'll be all right and I'll get through it. And I'm so happy I'm on orange. Let me just tell you, I don't know if you guys have worked it out. I'm really happy to not be working in any shade of yellow. I mean, technically, some people think orange is a shade of yellow. Is not. Talia says color change during the next stream. That could be a good goal. That could be a good goal to just make sure I get up to at least the color change. I mean, that's a big goal. I don't know if I can do it. I'm still sticking to my 1 row a week. Sorry, 1 row per day. So that would mean that I got up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means I would get up to 154, not 163, 159. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Oh yeah, Leanne, good point. We do have Mother's Day coming up in Australia in May. I don't know what other countries like when they have Mother's Day, but we've got ours coming up in May. I'm not crafting anything for it, but I might sew something for my mum. I haven't decided yet. She loves the handbag that I made her. And I've got the little pouch that I made her last year that I forgot to send down. So technically I've already sewed that. But I think I would like to make her like a key lanyard with her name on it, because my mum's got an unusual name, so she doesn't have her name on anything. So when that Christmas, when I made everyone those tumblers with their names on it and the icy pops with their name on it, my mum cried because she has never had anything with her name on it. That's right. That's good point. Never would have guessed you were happy to be off the yellow. Yeah. Leanne says, not for Mother's Day, but Dad's birthday is the same time, and I'm knitting him a vest. I've got a good comment coming up, but I can't. Come on, there it is. Not crafting for Mother's Day, but I've told my husband he needs to visit the Spinners and Weavers Guild shop with the kids. Tim and Abby keep asking me what I want, and I'm just like, you know what? At the moment, I don't think I want anything. I think the stress of adding more stuff is too much for me right now. So I don't want anything. So yeah. Yeah. We'll get there. And I'd set up the table for the Cricut, but I went to use the Cricut yesterday and realized I've still got a cord I have to run. I thought I was going to be able to Bluetooth it to the Cricut because apparently it can Bluetooth, but it didn't like it. So now I'm going to have to do some cable management and run a cord. No, there wouldn't be anything with your name on it either. That's the advantage of owning a Cricut, is you can just, because I've got a key ring, and it's got my name on it, and I've had that was gifted to me by somebody I worked with, like it's got to be over 20 years ago. Gosh, it's in good condition for that. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Are you right, Louie? It's just one of those things where it's just got your name on it and then what the meaning of your name is. And I remember just being so shocked at finding my name. And it was just in a little, I was leaving a company and they made me a little present. And so like different people had put little things in. So it's just like far out. Linda says, no Mother's Day, no Father's Day, and Valentine's all get ignored over here. Okay. Look, we do try to, like, I'm sure I'll get taken out for breakfast or something on Mother's Day. Because we try to do something, but I don't want any gifts. So this bring a magic marker and put your name on everything. Hey Joanne, welcome to the chat from Perth. Lisby says, my name is so very common. I always wanted a more unique name. There is advantages. Yeah, there are advantages to having a more common name versus a unique name. But I like my name, which is one of the reasons I get annoyed when Abby tries to give me a unique name, because I'm like, stop that. Maybe a nice brekkie and a free do what you want Sunday while the fam take care of all the things. See, that's not what would happen. I would get a free do what you want day, but all the jobs that would normally get done on a Sunday would be left for me to do throughout the week. They wouldn't do them. Jancy says, I like experiences for presents. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, we never get on those silly lists. You leave it alone, Talia. That's all I'm gonna say. Finger. Yeah, those lists, like, you know, your crazy friend. You've always got that one friend getting everyone into trouble, and if their name's on that list, then that's the friend. Like, not me. I enjoyed being a little unique, so I tried the same when naming each of my kids. Look, do you know what? I had no intention of purposefully giving Abby a unique name, but because of how we spell it, it's actually quite difficult to get things with her name. It's not impossible, but it's more difficult than I anticipated. Celebration's not too big in our family, mainly to acknowledge the event, so a lunch or dinner is in order. Yeah, that's I think that's what I'd like to do. I think that would be fun. Sue Ellen says, daughter currently works at Peter Alexandria, so everyone gets PJs. Take those PJs. I bought what I thought was a set of PJs from Peter Alexandria for Abby one time, and then I got the parcel and realized, no, that crazy amount of money was just for the pants. I was just like, oh, okay. My bad. I read that wrong. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't like complain or anything like that before I read all the paperwork. I was just like, oh no. Leanne says, I have the need to spell both first and last names every time. Do you know what? I have to spell my last name. Everyone forgets the S off the end. So, yeah. Not so much here with Caitlin being 17 hours away. Kathy, have you gotten to see Caitlin since things have eased up or not? I hope you have, even just briefly. Rebecca says, I actually hate my first name, but love my middle name. Really? I hate my middle name. Like, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. My middle name was my mom. Sticking her finger in the air to her mother-in-law. So my mom's mother-in-law expected her name to be the middle name, and because my mum doesn't have any brothers or any sisters, she only has brothers, and so yeah, my middle name is not the traditional spelling or pronunciation of a word. So yeah, it was just to mess with this mother-in-law. And so I have a giggle every time I think about that. I'm like, that's cool. I like that. Don't like the name. I like the story. I hate my unique name. Having that conversation with everyone I meet. Yes, it's different. No, I haven't met anyone with my name. Then I have to explain why your parents called you that. I see mine's not that different. Like there are other people with my name. They spell it differently. Yeah. Oh, Kathy, I'm so sorry. I hope you guys get to see us soon, like in the real. Look, I love Zoom and I love video calls and I love that we were able to rely on them so heavily. But I also think there's nothing quite like giving your mum a hug. So I hope that you guys can, or she can travel soon. I do. I have a petty middle name. It's petty. I have a petty middle name. I never thought of it like that. That's it now. My middle name is Petty. Gosh. My name is so very common, but I have to spell my last name because there's capitals in the middle. Yeah. Oh, Kathy, I got my fingers crossed so hard. So hard. All the fingers are crossed. Fingers. Hang on. I got to cross more fingers. Fingers are crossed. Crossing the fingers. All the fingers are crossed. That you get to see her at the end of May. That would be awesome. Game Winner says technically my first name is a petty name. Oh my gosh. Do all the things through petty. Oh my gosh. We are terrible. We are the worst. We're not the worst. We're an awesome, amazing group of people who have a good laugh at life because we have to. So on that note, Louie and I are heading out. It is time. It has been so wonderful hanging out with you all today, and I'm going to finish this row. I'll finish it this afternoon. And I will post in the fun zone that I'm still getting through. You probably got sick of my messages last week of the post in the fun zone of like, I've done another row. I was so excited. But I'll see you all next week. Same bat time, same bat station. And you guys have an awesome week and weekend and the rest of your following week. And I will catch you all then. Bye now.